Hey guys, over here at Cousins RV in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. I've got a fifth wheel this time, which they're getting ready to winterize. And I just wanted to point out a couple of things because it is very different from the travel trailers we just saw get winterized. So this one actually has a full winterization switch and bypass on it. But as you can see, we've got it hooked up and nothing's pulling in there. The reason why is because you have to prime the system. And so for a lot of fifth wheel owners, that's why they bring it to a place like Cousins RV, is because they don't have everything which is required to make this work properly, and Cousins does have the tools for it. Another interesting part is that this is a tankless hot water heater, so there's no bypass to it whatsoever. You just let it do its thing. It'll fill up the lines a little bit and it won't do any damage. But as we were discussing with Jesse just a while ago, it's really important to note that RV antifreeze is pink in color, not green like automotive antifreeze. So this is non-toxic. I wouldn't recommend drinking it, of course, but I'm just stating that it is very different from the stuff which you have in your car. And for the lay person, that's something which I didn't know getting into this, and might be good, useful information for you as well. The other piece of advice which I would highly recommend, and this comes directly from my man Jesse over here, when you're bringing your RV into a place like Cousins RV here in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, leave your batteries in it and make sure there's a charge. It makes their life a whole lot easier because, as you can see, we've got no shore power around us whatsoever. So we're kind of stuck to our own devices here if you don't have the battery in your RV. So just a nice helpful hint there. And another piece of great advice, label your keys. Because when you don't know which key it is, you have a technician who spends 10 minutes fumbling with keys trying to get into your trailer. So just a couple of bonus tips here.
All right, so now we're going to be winterizing a fifth wheel. So typically with the fifth wheel, we're going to plug in our Winterize hose to the Winterize inlet right here, and then we can follow our key right here to turn our valves to the correct position to winterize. So in this case, the blue valve is going to be the tank fill valve, so we'll want that down. The white valve is the winterize, so we'll have that on to the side. And this unit does not have a water heater bypass because it has a tankless water heater. So from here, you would be able to put your hose into a gallon of antifreeze, but in some cases, we can't get the water pump to start pumping the antifreeze because of the layout. So right here, what I have set up is I have a battery hooked up to an external water pump that will pump the antifreeze into the unit and then use the water pump in the unit to pump the antifreeze to the rest of the faucets. So we'll go ahead and put power to this water pump and open up this valve. So you can see this is starting to pump some antifreeze here.
So satisfying how it drains.
Yeah.
Love it.
And now once this reaches pressure, this will turn off, and then we could head inside and start opening up the faucets. I'll probably have to switch out my jug here just to make sure I don't run out while we're inside. So all right, let's go ahead and we'll winterize this outside faucet. So right about there, you could tell that it's pink. So that was our hot side. There's our cold side. And it looks like this is just going, so we may actually have a faucet open inside. So we'll switch this out and head inside and go check it out.
It's this battery setup which he has that may be worth bringing it into a place like Cousins, simply because how many of us have a spare battery and pump lying around to prime your system?
All right, so earlier our toilet started to overflow when we turned on our water pump, and it was just because our valve here was depressed when we turned on the water pump, so it started to fill and it started to overflow the toilet. So we stopped and made sure that this valve was working properly, and now we're going to go ahead and continue. So I got the toilet here run pink, and now I'll get the bathroom faucet. Again, we'll run it until it runs pink, and then hold it for an additional few seconds to make sure that we get antifreeze in the P-trap.
The variable for time, Jesse's got to be distance from the pump, correct?
Exactly, yeah. So we're in the garage bathroom right now, so we're the furthest distance from the water pump, so this one will take a little bit longer than the rest of them. And the cold side usually goes pretty fast. The hot side's always going to be a little bit longer just because it has to run to the water pump and then back to the faucet. So
When it comes to filling the P-trap, is there a certain amount of time which you recommend to let it run for, or is it just kind of...
An additional 5 to 10 seconds
Okay,
after it starts to run pink.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Make sure that the light's off. Okay. So now we're going to get the kitchen sink. And now as we're getting closer to the pump, it will get shorter and shorter to get all the water out. Alright. Get the upper bathroom. Toilet.
Is there ever anything which you need to do, Jesse, on a washing machine?
Yeah. So on a washing machine, and since you brought that up, we should take a look in the bedroom just to see if we have one on this unit. But basically with the washing machine, you'll just run it and keep an eye on the inside of it. And once you see it start to fill up with water and the water looks pink, then turn it off and drain it, and do that twice, and you should be good to go.
Perfect.
So
Cool.
just kind of 2 cycles, letting it run until it's pink, and then drain it. So perfect. We actually have a water heater, washing machine on this unit, so we will do that last. I'll finish up in the bathroom, and then we'll open up the slide and come back to here, and I'll show you how to winterize the washing machine. Just got to get the shower in here, and then we'll be done. So I believe we are out of antifreeze again, so we'll have to go swap out our jugs. I'm just gonna get a little bit extra into the P-trap, and we should be set. Alright, so now we're gonna winterize the washing machine. So with the washer, we're going to need 110 power. So in this case, we're using the generator to get power to the washing machine, or you could use the shore power if that's available. So first thing we're going to do here is put it on lightly soiled. We're going to put it on the quickest option, which I believe is lightly soiled. Yeah. So we'll start it on lightly soiled. You have to hold this button for a few seconds. So now that we got it started, we're just gonna wait and let it run its cycle. And while it's running its cycle, we're gonna keep an eye on the bottom here for when it starts to fill with water. And when it starts to fill with water, we'll turn it off and drain it and then do the cycle one more time. And on the second cycle, it should be noticeably pink in the washing bin here. It may take up to 5 minutes to get it in there, so this may be a little bit of a slow process, but we'll pick up again once it's pink. All right, so now we've got the bin to fill up with pink antifreeze in there. So I can kind of open this door even, get a peek inside. So that's kind of what you're looking for, just barely filling up the bottom with pink antifreeze. And then we'll stop it, turn it to rinse and spin. And now we'll drain all of the antifreeze that's in there. And then we'll turn it off once we can hear that pump start to cycle. It may take a minute for it to switch over here. So now it's draining. And right there you can hear that it's starting to suck in air through the pump. And from there we'll just go ahead and turn it off.
All right, so just wanted to say thank you again so much to Jesse for having us out here at Cousins RV in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Any other final tidbits which you would want to share with us as RVers?
So, you know, just like I said in the beginning, when you're starting your Winterize, just make sure you find that water heater, bypass that first, find your water pump, and then from there you should be good to go.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much for your time today, my friend. It was excellent, and we'll catch you on the next one, bud.
Awesome.